Finding ways to be financially savvy is a smart move. And knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream home or new ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state. You've got social dialed in. Search is doing its thing. So why do your marketing results look the same as 6 months ago? That's because you're fishing in the same pond as everyone else. Podcast listeners are a different audience entirely. More engaged, harder to reach through traditional channels, and ready to act when someone they trust makes a recommendation. We're Acast, and we put them right in front of you. Browse thousands of the world's leading podcasts, book host reads or run your own ads, and track every conversion in real time. Same skills you already have, brand new results. Acast. Acast.com/advertise.
In one eye, out the other.
Eavesdroppin.
Well, hello there, little lady.
Hello, my fellow little lady. How you doing there?
I'm okay.
Two little ladies.
Two little ladies having a chat. That's what you've signed up to, eavesdroppers. Well done.
Well done, you. I'm going to give you a pat on the back and a little clap.
A pat and a clap for being so slack.
Oh, no, for being an eavesdropper.
Okay.
That's what they get.
What do you get when it's the first of the month? Hitting a punch. No, hitting a kick for being so quick. No, pinch and a punch.
Pinch and a punch for the first of
for the first day of the month.
Yes.
And then usually it was my father-in-law that would do that to me every first of the month, and I'd quickly get him back by saying a hit and a kick for being so quick.
Do you know what? My mum, Jen the hen. Yes, she would say, white rabbits, that would bring good luck for the month.
Oh, she's a witch.
She is, Jen the witch. If that was the first thing that came out of your mouth on the first of the month, you woke up and you went,
witchy.
white rabbits, it meant good luck, apparently. Jen, if I got that wrong, please.
Jen,
please write in or call me.
Jen, I just had shivers. I think that's amazing. I love that. I'm going to use that in my practice. Thank you to Jen, Michelle's mother. By the way, I'm Geordie.
And I'm Michelle, and you are an eavesdropper because you're listening to Eavesdroppin' the Comedy Podcast.
Extraordinaire. That's you. You are very special to us. Thank you for joining the podcast. If it's your first time, just give it a minute. Just give it a minute. We'll settle in and we'll tell you some stuff. A little bit of comedy along the way. We say it's comedy. It's actually just us shooting the shit.
It is shooting the shit.
There's a bit of swearing too.
I know. Sorry. It's a little bit of a blue podcast sometimes.
Blur.
Got a blue mouth. No, it's a
potty mouth.
Potty mouth, not a blue mouth.
Turn the air blue.
Hell. Turn the air blue, yes.
That's what we do. That's what Michelle particularly does.
Ho! We swear a lot. We swear a lot. We swear a lot.
Get back.
Woo!
See you next Tuesday.
Sorry, Mum.
Now, I have to actually get the book because I'm going to give you a book rec.
Oh.
Because I've actually had a little bit of time to read some books.
You lucky beggar.
I know. Now, I will say we always plug our eavesdroppers who are amazing, and we have a lot of you, but two in particular are writers. Mm-hmm. We've got Victoria Prince, a.k.a. Zoe Folbig,
wonderful,
who has released Chalet Girl.
Are you reading that?
I am. And I actually thought it was a penis on top of a ski, but it's actually a pink G-string on the cover. So I know. I had to put my glasses on.
Is it saucy?
Yes, it's a bonk buster.
I love that.
It's a bonk buster. So I've started that. Jane Beacon, who has Poison Paradise. Well, that's just come out in paperback.
Oh,
so
send me my copy, Jane. Send it. Like
Yes.
you gave us a Chambers Dictionary of the Unexplained. More on that later. No, actually, I will go out and buy my copy of the paperback. That's exactly what I want to read.
I think it's online. I think you've got to order that off Amazon. And another book rec. Let me just grab it. One second.
This is unheard of. She just up sticks and left. Walked off. Left me in the studio all on my own. How rude. Oh, here you are, back again, yes.
Now, you'd think I'd bloody remember what I was reading, but...
In one eye, out the other.
Now, it's called Wild Dark Shore, a novel by Charlotte McConaughey. She's an Aussie. And it's actually set on an island.
What's with all the islands?
I don't know if it's a real island or a fake island called Shearwater. It's very good. I will say I actually felt financially raped after I bought this book because I bought it in Sweden and I talked to the lady at the English bookstore in Gothenburg. And I said, oh, I'm looking for a book. And she said, oh, are you Australian? You might like this. Anyway, it was a hardback. I didn't ask the price. It was 43 euros.
Oh!
I nearly fucking died, but I was so embarrassed. I bought it because...
You bought out of embarrassment.
Because she'd already rung it up and I was
no.
What the hell? So anyway, thank God it's a good book. And I can recommend it, but I would not pay 43 euros for it.
You can rent it to people and get your money back.
I really bloody could. I felt very violated. But anyway, apart from that, it's a very good book. And I would recommend it. And it's got mystery. It's got nature. It's just amazing. I really loved it. It's a New York Times bestseller, it says on the cover. So there you go.
Fabulous. Well, I haven't been reading, but I have been watching a little bit of television. I just can't seem to get past 1 or 2 episodes of things. And I found the Comeback Series 3 on HBO Max, starring Lisa Kudrow. Love that one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You mentioned that before.
I have.
I actually thought I need to start at season 1.
You should start at season 1 because I'm a little bit confused about things in between because it was years ago that I watched the first 2 series. And it is slightly cringe. But Lisa Kudrow, she's great. It's also laugh out loud because she's quite stupid. She plays this actress, very well-known and much-loved actress, Valerie Cherish, I think her name is. Hello, 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 which I think RuPaul stole that from her, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, she's kind of trying to make a comeback in series 1, 2, and definitely series 3. Comeback from another comeback. So she keeps making bad choices. And there's the people in her life. She lived a very Hollywood TV star life. And now she's kind of struggling to get parts and things and taking herself very seriously. Maybe a little bit like Hacks. Have you seen Hacks?
I keep seeing it on all the top TV lists. And I gave it a go and I've just found it so tedious. I didn't enjoy it.
I found it slightly tedious for me too, but I want to push on because I think it does get better.
Okay. I'm pretty bad. I give things 1 or 2 eps and then I just discard.
Sometimes you've got to dig in. And also that would go for Widow's Peak as well, because I think I mentioned it before, starring Matthew Rhys, the Welshman.
Yes.
Who is in quite a few things at the moment. The first episode, my husband was not into it because he couldn't tell, is it horror? Is it psychological drama? Is it comedy? Well, I think it's all of the above, actually.
Right.
And it's quite entertaining. I'm enjoying it. In fact, it is very scary. The episode, I think 3 that we watched last night, it was a little Japanese horror-esque, and I couldn't look at the screen.
Oh, that sounds grim already. Well,
yeah.
I just had a little throwback. When you were talking about that actor, Matthew Rhys, is it? Yes.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of when we had the Ave Maria, couldn't remember Ryan Gosling, and I got my phone and looked up Drive. Well, wouldn't you know, I was at a quiz night. It was kind of like a thing where you start to get 5 points, and then for every clue they give, you get less points.
Oh.
So you start with 5 points, and then if you get it on the first one, and then 4, 3, 2. Anyway, it started off with an actor born in Britain, and I was like, who fucking knows? Anyway, then it went on, was in Drive, and I'm like, this is Ryan Gosling, and I actually know his name.
How did you know he was born in Britain?
Well, I didn't. I just knew from the next clue. But who knew he was born in Britain?
Born in Britain.
Britain. Without our podcast, I would not have got those points.
So it is helping.
I would have been thinking, that blonde guy, the young
Leonardo.
one from Ave Maria. But I have a telерec. I have 2, actually.
Okay.
First one, again, I was reading through one of these top TV series recs, and it said that a show called The 4 Seasons, Season 2 was coming out. And I thought, well, what's season 1? How did I miss something good? So I went back and started watching, and it has Tina Fey, Steve Carell, loads of other actors in it.
I've heard about it. It's supposed to be like White Lotus, but...
Well, it's a group of friends, and each episode they're on a different holiday together.
Okay, right.
So one is the ski trip, one is like, down at the beach or whatever. It's actually very good and I really enjoyed it. And it's definitely for people maybe a little bit older, maybe our age. You'll get all the references. And yeah, I really loved it. So I'm looking forward to season 2. That's a rec. Tick. And
I'll watch that.
Yeah, the other rec. As you know, I've been watching Euphoria since the start. I know that you struggled with it. I think you weren't so keen on it. But anyway, season 3 is out and I watched the first episode and I was like, oh my fucking God, this is just so dark and so grim and these people's lives. Do I really want to watch it? But then Eavesdroppin Steph, she said, stick with it. Season 3 is absolutely fantastic. Sydney Sweeney steals the show along with Zendaya. So I'm going to give it a go. And she said it's a big tick, tick, tick.
Okay. Well, it'll be for some, I'm sure. I might watch it with my daughter because she wants to watch it from the beginning. I'll be scrolling whilst doing that.
You won't be. You'll be saying, this is too much for you. I don't think you should be watching it because it's really full on. Speaking of Eavesdroppin Steph, I did have a moment. She's going to kill me for saying this. While watching Eurovision and Delta Goodrem, the Australian entry.
Yes.
My God, I was getting Celine Dion vibes.
Oh, my God. Yes.
Delta was channeling full Celine.
Wasn't she?
I thought she was amazing.
Yeah, she was good. It wasn't the best song, though. There were some good tunes. Norway came out trumps for me.
Oh, with the Harry Styles lookalike wannabe.
Or Benson Boone, I would have said.
Oh, well, he had the Harry Styles rip-off outfit on.
I don't know what he wears.
Okay. So I was thinking, oh, yeah, Norway's all right. There are a few okay ones.
Italy was the winner for me.
Oh!
I thought that disco tune with the old crooner, with all the people getting married in the background, I thought that was amazing.
Oh, with the big reveal with the Italian flag where she rips off her skirt. It was hilarious.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, Italy, it was just giving classic Eurovision.
It was.
And I think people really enjoyed it. But obviously, there's two camps with Eurovision. The oldies who just want the campy, old school bit of fun. And then the new ones who want bangaranga in the clubs.
I mean,
like,
that was
what
good.
the fuck? I didn't enjoy that. I was like, that came out of nowhere for me. I thought it was trash.
I thought it was good. For what it was, a Eurovision song.
Yes.
Finding ways to be financially savvy is a smart move. And knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream home or new ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Quick question. When was the last time a display ad changed your mind? Now think about the last time a friend told you about something they loved. Different feeling, right? That's how podcast advertising works. A host who's built real trust with their audience talks about your brand in their own words, in their own voice. It doesn't interrupt the experience. It's part of it. With Acast, you can access the world's largest podcast marketplace. Choose the right shows, the right audiences, the right format. Then watch the data tell you it worked. You're not buying impressions. You're buying influence. Learn more by visiting acast.com/advertise.
Can I quickly talk about scrolling and TV that's probably too old for certain watchers?
Okay.
Just before coming to air, I was doing a quick scroll to see if there's anything worth talking about on the Instagrams. And actually, I was served, if you like, this Game of Thrones montage that AI has redone. All of the worst scenes starts with Kit, what's his name? Jon Snow, about to go into battle. And next to him is a guy in a modern day suit, just a regular guy with a pink balloon sword next to him. He then proceeds to go throughout all of the worst scenes, like, Ned Stark getting his head chopped off, the Red Wedding, the Viper, aka Pedro Pascal, when he gets his comeuppance in the ring when he's standing in for Tyrion. All of the scenes. He comes in, he slaps down the baddie, and he kisses the forehead of the person he's just saved. including the little boy before he gets pushed out the window, all of it. He saves everybody. The caption was, this guy puts himself in Game of Thrones and started fixing years of fan trauma. All the shocking scenes.
Oh, my
He even
God.
reveals to Tyrion Lannister that his children are in an incestuous relationship. It's like, oi, oi. And then he comes in and slaps them up. It's quite something if you can search that on the grams.
Yes, I'll have to find that and pop a link on the Patreon because we have a Patreon.
Correct.
And if you're not on there, why the bloody hell not?
She's very mean about that. Well, most people would say because they can't be bothered to pop a coin in the slot. But those who do will get benefits. We are friends with benefits to you guys.
The benefits have been a little thin on the ground lately.
Not now.
No.
We have a Norwegian pop star.
Yes, we
This
do.
month.
We have a chitty chatty. There you go. Head on over.
Exactly. And actually, we can reveal his name is Martian. If you know this musician, he's also known as Jürgen Landhaug, and he was in Libido and Co-Star and Brighton Gay, and now Martian. And other things too. Turns out we were both in Mellumgas, which is a Norwegian speed metal band. You'll find all that out and more. We can put a little bit in here now if you want to hear just a little bit of what Jürgen has to say. Should we do that?
Sure.
So why don't we pop a bit of Jürgen in and just a teaser, just to show you what you're missing. Have you ever had a close call like that, apart from that huge event that happened in history that you were right in the, not luckily in the eye of the storm, but nearby?
We had a tour accident once. That was...
With Libido?
No, with Co-Star. And we were on our way over the mountain. And there was like an animal that came over the road. And Pete was driving, drummer Pete was driving.
Yes.
And he had just to sort of get off the road, basically, to not hit it. So we woke up.
What?
Like
woke up?
Yeah, because I was sleeping.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You're knocked out.
No, it was crazy. And I remember we all got out of the car. Johnny Bull from Rialto was with us that time as well.
Yeah.
And Terry was with us.
Yeah.
And we just got out of the car and we started looking around. We walked sort of 50 meters in front of us. And basically it was just a cliff. So it would have been...
Close call.
Yeah. It would have been proper James Bond style. Yeah.
Oh, no. Do you remember the accident, or you woke up once the accident had happened?
To put it like this, I've not been able to sleep in a car since.
So they have a little itty-bitty tit-bitty of Jürgen,
Yes.
a.k.a. Martian. His songs are over on the Patreon. We've actually got an exclusive preview of his latest single called Fear of Losing You, I believe. Apart from all that, this week, I want to tell you some stuff, Michelle.
Lay it on me.
Well, I want to tell you about disappearances.
Oh, okay.
And when people think about disappearances, they think, oh, so-and-so's gone missing and we'll never see them again. Yeah, that's sad. And we do those kind of stories. You've done some great ones about that in the past. In particular, I can think of that really weird one where the guy went missing. He was working on a film and then he went missing in the woods. Do you remember that
He
one?
just ran off.
He ran off and then they never saw him again.
And no one ever found him again. Like, it was bizarre.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But I'm not talking about those kind of true crime stories. I'm actually talking about something a little more supernatural, potentially.
Ooh.
Potentially.
Ooh.
So keep your minds open. Open your minds, people.
Yes.
You know, basically I'm talking about people vanishing in front of your eyes. Has it ever happened to you, Michelle?
No, but I think we've all been in a crowd where we've had our eyes on someone and then suddenly just one person walks in front and that person that you had your eyes on, gone. Unlocatable. Unlocatable. And you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
And objects, you're looking for something, it's gone. And
Oh, I
then
hate
suddenly
that.
it's right in front of your fucking face.
Domestic blindness.
And you're like, what the hell? I'm intrigued if there is something you're going to shed light on.
Are our brains glitching? I wonder.
Maybe.
I mean, I have had a moment not that long ago where one of my children, as I walked into the bathroom, he was in there, but I didn't realize. I didn't see him. I don't know how. The bathroom was quite small. And then he managed to leave. And when he came out, I was like downing my trousers ready to sit on the loo. And then I realized he was just at the doorway. I was like, what are you doing? He said, I was right behind you the whole time. I was like, how did you do that? Well, he was little. He was little at the time.
Yes, but also, did you ever find the pink candle? Was it a pink candle?
No, never.
Oh, my God.
Never. But I did find other things.
Where did
I
that
found
go?
other things. I don't know. I really don't know. But I did actually have somebody disappear in front of my face, like went zhoop like that in front of me.
What?
But then I found her again later. This is my friend Jo. When we were probably about 18, 19 and we're at Glastonbury Festival. We'd hitchhiked there and we had eaten some fudge and some other bits of paper with strawberries on them.
Okay.
Quite a lot. And she'd had a really bad time, but then she righted herself. And then we were in the food, I've talked about this before, in the food kind of area back in the old days of Glastonbury, walking around and around in circles trying to get out. We could not find the exit.
Oh, God.
Going a little bit mad. I started to lose it. I looked at her and I was like, what's going on? And then she just went, I don't know, and then disappeared in front of my eyes. The next thing I knew, I was sitting on the floor in the mud, and it felt like the merry-go-round had started again.
Oh, God.
And I looked around, and all these people were lurching around me, and then I could hear my name being called, and she was looking for me because apparently I'd disappeared.
Oh, God. This is like a little rip in the matrix, a little glitch.
Or is it just a drug-addled brain? I don't know.
Well, yeah, it could be because you were absolutely tripping balls.
I was flying. Yeah. But few things unsettle us more than the idea that someone can simply vanish into thin air. Think Picnic at Hanging Rock or the Mary Celeste.
That's true. That always is intriguing to me because they say the kettle was still boiling.
The kettle was still... Oh, I don't know. Didn't know that.
I've read that. I don't know if it's true, but I have read it somewhere.
Well, most disappearances do have some kind of logical explanation. But there are a handful of cases throughout history that remain so strange they've become modern folklore. And these are the stories that keep turning up in podcasts, on documentaries, and of course, those late night Reddit rabbit holes, because they tap into a very primal fear. What if someone could disappear without a trace? So I've got a story I'm going to start with. Bear in mind, this is from the Sun newspaper.
Quality rag.
Quality rag. This is the story of 16-year-old Charles Ashmore, and it's in November 1878. Why November matters, I don't know. I suppose we're setting the season, November, coming into winter.
Right.
He leaves his home, Quincy, Illinois, carrying a tin bucket to fetch some water from a nearby spring. It had been snowing heavily, there we go, and his family watched him walk into the darkness. But they never imagined it would be the last time they'd see him, because after some time, Charles didn't return. So his father and his sister went searching with a lantern. They followed his trail through the snow, thanks to Charles's footprints, which clearly led away from the house. But then suddenly those footprints, Michelle, disappeared. Gone. No drag marks, nothing.
So it was kind of like footprints and then
nothing.
Pure, clean
pure snow.
This is why November's important. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. There was no sign of a struggle or return tracks, no marks suggesting anyone had carried him away, just footsteps stopping abruptly in the middle of the snow. So obviously the sister and the dad were terrified, but they continued on to the spring, only to discover it was frozen over. Charles had never made it there.
Yes.
Then a few days later, Charles's mother claimed she heard his voice calling faintly from the place where the footprints ended. At first, the family assumed it was grief playing tricks on her mind.
Yeah.
But over the following months, several people reported hearing the same thing.
Oof.
A distant voice that sounded like Charles calling from somewhere impossibly far away.
Oh, my God.
One family member later described it as faintly, yet with entire distinctness. A lot of people heard it.
Was he snatched by... No, but he wouldn't have been snatched by a bear because you'd see the bear prints.
Well, exactly. There was no logical clues or explanations. And the voice supposedly grew weaker over time until by the following summer, it just completely stopped.
Can you imagine hearing that and thinking, where the fuck is my son? I need to find him, and not being able to do anything.
Absolutely terrible.
Awful.
But then on Christmas Eve in 1889, 11-year-old Oliver Larch went out into a similarly freezing night in South Bend, Indiana, also carrying a bucket to fetch water from the family well. Guys, Guys, stop sending your kids out to do a man's job.
Yeah.
In the freezing snow, at least. It should have taken minutes. Instead, moments later, his terrified screams could be heard, saying, "Help, help, they've got me." That's what witnesses heard him screaming, and it appeared to come from somewhere above the house.
Oh, my God.
His father grabbed a lamp and rushed outside with other family members, but what they found only deepened the mystery. About 75 feet from the house, Oliver's footprints in the snow simply stopped. There was no drag marks or footprints leading away, just as it was with Charles Ashmore. It was like he'd just been lifted up and away. So maybe he had. Maybe it was a giant bird. Maybe he was little. I don't know.
A giant bird.
Well, it could be.
That would have to be
Maybe.
prehistoric.
Why not?
Dinosaur bird.
Then, in another strange coincidence, almost the exact same thing allegedly happened 20 years later, again on Christmas Eve. In 1909, another 11-year-old boy called Oliver disappeared in Wales after being sent to fetch fucking water from a well. Stop it, guys.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Witnesses reported hearing terrified cries before the silence fell. When people searched the snow, his footsteps also ended abruptly. So 2 boys, both named Oliver, both aged 11, both disappearing on Christmas Eve while fetching water. And in both cases, the snow appeared to simply just stop.
The footprints in the snow snatched.
There are rational possibilities, probably not a pterodactyl, but there is also the possibility that there were misreported details. These are old stories, Michelle. There may have been some embellishment or some connecting of the dots to make them seem more real. But did they just evolve over time through newspapers and retelling? Who knows? The image, though, remains unsettling of a child's footprints ending in untouched snow with no clue to where they went next.
Yeah, 3 of them.
Exactly. Could it be a time slip? Could it be something more supernatural?
Aliens,
Aliens,
obviously.
exactly.
Aliens. Because especially with the middle story, they've got me, is what I believe you said.
Yes,
he said.
that's right.
They've got me.
They've got me.
More than one, indicating something or someone.
That's right. But again, I just want to point out, is it embellished over the years?
Yeah, of course.
We don't know what the reporting standards were like back in those days.
Yes.
But now I'm going to take you to more modern times, 2006 to be precise. Here is a disappearance so baffling it still drives internet sleuths mad with not knowing 20 years later.
Yes.
In 2006, 27-year-old medical student Brian Shaeffer went out drinking with friends in Columbus, Ohio during spring break celebrations. Now, I've never experienced a spring break or a schoolies or any of those kinds of things. I left Australia before it was a thing. I haven't spent much time in the States. I don't think there's such a thing here in the UK. Maybe there's some stuff going on in Cambridge, but I don't really frequent that place. It's not a thing that I know about. I do expect it to be quite wild, though. I have heard stories from friends in tourist towns in Australia who experience a lot of mayhem.
Schoolies, it's an opportunity. Often they go away.
Well, exactly. Imagine if you're the place where they've gone away too.
Oh, hell. Hell on earth to live there.
That's what I mean. Friends in coastal hotspots around the Australian coast.
On the Goldie.
Brian Shaeffer and his 2 friends, there is CCTV footage of them arriving at a bar called the Ugly Tuna Saloon.
Where?
Shortly before closing time in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
Shortly before closing time around 1 a.m. And that's where this mystery begins, because Brian was briefly separated from his friends, but was caught on camera again at 1:55, talking to 2 women outside the bar's second floor exit. After the women left, he stepped back into the main bar area. Security cameras showed him going in, but despite cameras covering the exits, there's no footage of Brian ever leaving.
Oh. According to the CCTV, he's still inside.
Yeah, but that only happened after the fact, because when the bar closed around 2 a.m., his friends couldn't find him. They assumed he'd walked home, so they then went their own ways and went to their own homes. But Brian never returned to his apartment, and he missed a scheduled flight to Miami the next day with his girlfriend, and no one has ever seen or heard from him since.
Oh, fuck. Can you imagine being at the airport waiting for your boyfriend to show up, and you're like, where the fuck? And you're angry. You're like, where the fuck are you? You were on schoolies, you bastard. You're on spring break. Are you with another girl? And actually, God.
It's just nowhere to be seen.
Gone.
So now Brian was smart. He was charismatic, and by all accounts, he had a huge future ahead of him. He'd been studying medicine at Ohio State University, and his plan was to travel to Miami with his girlfriend, and friends believed it was so that he could propose to her.
Oh my God, this is even worse.
I know. But also, life hadn't been easy for Brian because just weeks earlier, his mother had died after battling blood cancer, which had really affected him, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
But of course, Brian's disappearance caused a flurry of online theories like this one. Did Brian somehow slip past cameras and voluntarily disappear to start a new life? Maybe it all got too much for him. Maybe the girlfriend and the pressure, maybe the loss of his mother caused him to really reevaluate his life, and he couldn't see a way out, so he just slipped out of view. But it seems too planned. It feels like he maybe just turned up at this club after a night of drinking. So probably not.
I can't really get behind that theory because
it's pretty basic.
I can get behind he managed to slip past cameras, sure. But to deliberately start a new life, too far-fetched.
Weird, yeah. Was he the victim of foul play after leaving through the construction exit?
Oh, there's a construction exit.
Yeah. Did someone inside the bar know more than they admitted?
Yes, of course.
Probably.
This seems to me like the most likely foul play.
Yeah, something went wrong here. Attention eventually turned towards one of the friends that Brian had been with that night, a guy called Clint Florence, who refused to take a polygraph test on legal advice.
Oh.
We don't know the details behind that, though, so we can't really make a judgment, I suppose.
Yeah, but put yourself in that guy's shoes, right? Your mate, who you've just been on spring break with, has gone missing. If we were out and you'd gone missing, and I had nothing to hide, even if my lawyer said, hey, listen, it's always a 50-50 with polygraph tests, I'd be like, I don't fucking care. I'm going to take it because my friend is missing. This is not about me.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah, it doesn't sit quite right, does it?
No, it doesn't sit well.
Well, Brian's brother Derek later admitted he believed Clint knew more than he had ever revealed. And Brian's girlfriend also felt information was being withheld, but no evidence ever directly implicated anyone. But then, months later, after Brian vanished, his bereft girlfriend was calling his mobile phone, as she often did, just to hear his voicemail, because it would go straight to voicemail. But one night it rang 3 times rather than flipping straight to voicemail because it was no longer active. Phone company representatives later suggested it may have been a technical glitch, although reports indicated a signal ping came from a tower about 14 miles outside Columbus.
So someone's got his phone.
Maybe. Or he does. Maybe he did just decide to walk away. I don't know. But as if this story wasn't tragic enough already, Brian's father, Randy, who, remember, had already lost his wife and then his son, he became obsessed with finding Brian. Yeah. He died 2 years after Brian's disappearance in a freak accident when a falling tree branch struck him in his garden. What? I know.
This family.
It's devastating, right?
God, tragedy after tragedy.
But listen, this is 20 years later now, and the disappearance of Brian Shaeffer remains one of America's most baffling missing person cases, where a man walks into a crowded bar full of cameras, people, noise, and witnesses, but vanishes without a trace.
Oh, my God.
Doesn't seem to be possible, right?
I wonder, it's one of those cases where you think, we'll probably never know. Someone knows something and they are, unless it's a deathbed confession, how are we ever going to know what happened to Brian?
Finding ways to be financially savvy is a smart move. And knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream home or new ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state. Here's a tip for you. There's a podcast out there with fans waiting to be your next customer. They tune in every week, they trust the host, and that host wants to talk about brands like yours in their own words to their audience. The problem is, you just haven't been introduced yet. We're Acast, where that introduction happens. As the world's largest podcast marketplace, we let you browse shows, see who's listening, and book host-read sponsorships or run your own ads all from one platform. Transparent pricing, real-time data, complete control. Start advertising on podcasts by visiting acast.com/advertise.
But there are more, of course, Michelle. More of these stories out there. And some a little more spooky than this one, which just seems baffling. And all you need to do is search through Quora, which is where I found this post from Amir in 2020.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Amir says he was walking on the pavement and across the road, he saw a man walking. He noticed a parked van, and as the man walked past the van, he didn't come out the other side whilst Amir was watching.
Oh.
Cue the confusion. He was walking towards Amir's side of the pavement.
Okay.
But he didn't come out the other side. So Amir checked to see if the man was standing behind the van because he was like, what's going on here? I don't believe what I just saw. Where's the guy? Something didn't sit right. So we went round the van, couldn't find him, looked under the van, looked inside the van. No one inside, no one under it, no one round it. There's just no guy anymore. And a few years later, he Googled this phenomena to see if others had had similar experiences. And it turns out plenty of others have, Michelle.
Okay.
Amir wondered out loud on Quora, are they a figment of our imagination who look real, or are they other entities we don't know about? So he's gone straight to the tinfoil hat community to ask this question.
Shadow people. He's gone straight there.
So here's a response from Idiosyncratic Audio, who replied, I got goosebumps reading this. It happened to me. I had just left uni and went back to a friend's house for a few beers. We decided to order some food around 10 p.m. and walked to a local takeaway. As we were walking up the side path, we saw a woman who was walking towards us who appeared drunk. She was staring and walking towards us from a distance in a zigzag motion. Classic drunk walk. In brackets. A van, another fucking van, was parked up on the side and she walked in front of the van but never appeared on the road where they expected her to be going. I carried on chatting to my friend and we got to the van and I looked in front of the van to expect her to be sitting there as there was nowhere else she could have gone. Exactly.
Yeah, slumped drunk, yeah.
I checked around the van when she wasn't there and was completely bamboozled. My friend then said to me, what are you doing? And I said, didn't you see that woman walking towards us? He said, what woman?
Okay.
I've moved over to Reddit for this one, and it's on Glitch in the Matrix, or reply from Glitch in the Matrix. I saw someone disappear into thin air 15 years ago, and it still haunts me to this day. This person said they saw a post where someone had similar experiences, so I'm sharing mine, is what they said. Please help me make sense of this. I'm open to hearing any opinions and theories. Michelle, there's a request for you.
Thoughts and theories.
Thoughts and theories. This happened when I was a teenager, around 17 years old. I was walking to the end of my street where the bus would pick me up every morning. It's a main road where there are frequent cars that pass by, so people don't typically walk on it. There are no sidewalks because it's a rural suburban area, no pavements. Mm-hmm. As I got closer, I noticed a man on the other side of the road just standing there. It was dark outside and I couldn't see who it was very clearly. I assumed it was one of our neighbours, so as I approached him, I shouted to him, hi, but he didn't respond. He just kept staring blankly at nothing in particular. Oh, that sounds like the start of a horror film.
Yeah, dead eyes.
You imagine him lifting his hand and pointing and then his mouth opening wide. What's that called? The Things from Outer Space or something. It came from outer space.
Oh, I don't know.
I made it to the end of the road and I could make out his appearance more clearly. He was not someone who lived in my neighbourhood. And with me being a teenage girl, I was rightfully nervous. I saw my bus in the distance, so I thought if it was some serial killer, then they would have been caught as they tried to harm me. So I stayed put. Good logic there.
Good.
The man then turns and starts walking towards me, looking at me dead in the face with the most blank expression. So what does she do? She starts screaming. Still no reaction from the man. He makes it to about 6 feet away from me when all of a sudden the bus flies past my stop and the man completely vanished.
Oh, my God.
My heart was beating out of my chest and I was in total shock at what had just happened. Before I could even collect my thoughts, here comes my bus again, driving the same direction I had previously seen it doing before, and it pulled up to my stop, and I got on the bus and continued my day as if nothing had happened. I have no clue as to what happened to this day. Even now I think about this often and it sends a shiver down my spine. Well, it would, wouldn't it?
2 things here. Probably no man and no bus.
You think she was having some sort of waking dream?
Yeah, some kind of delusion somehow.
Maybe. Or is it a time slip?
Yes.
Is he something...
Different dimension.
Yes. And I want to go back to the Sandown Clown because that story just fascinates me. And if you haven't heard our version of the Sandown Clown, you'll have to just do a little Google search to find it in your place where you listen to these podcasts because our website is currently down. Sorry about that.
It's back up. It's just...
Oh, well done.
I'm slowly working through it.
Oh, bless you.
The hackers got it bad.
Oh, dear.
But it's back. Bitches.
Okay, wonderful. Well done, Michelle. Lots of hard work there. But what I mean by the Sandown Clown is we talked about this unusual story, which could just be folklore and made up, but actually I choose to believe that there are doors which people can open and come and go and make friends from other dimensions or alternate realities. Love that.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Would it be nice?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Imagine if you were a murderer and you're just going around murdering people and then disappearing through a door.
Well, that could actually be happening.
They say that that's what happened to, what's his name, who was never caught? Jack the Ripper.
Right. Possible.
They say.
They.
I mean, when I'm talking they, those with the tinfoil hats is what I'm talking about here on Quora and Reddit.
Yes.
But going back to my sources, Quora, Reddit, The Sun, I felt like I needed something a bit more concrete, a bit more trustworthy. So I picked up the Chambers Dictionary of the Unexplained. Thank you to the Beacon Twins.
Thank you,
Jane Beacon
Beacons.
gave it to us, actually. Jane. I searched up in the index disappearances, thinking it would be quite generic once I got there. But this very thing showed up. And in fact, so did a couple of the stories that I told you at the start of this episode. So what we've been talking about today is known in supernatural world or Fortean world as a disappearance.
Okay.
Some of the suggestions of why and how it happens are teleportation, time slips, the rapture.
Oh, okay.
And if you remember Charles Ashmore and Oliver Larch, who I mentioned at the top of the episode, they are also mentioned under this entry for disappearances. But I'm sad to say that the story seems to be just that. Charles Ashmore and Oliver Larch were characters' names in a fictional short story written by a man called Ambrose Bierce in 1909. Now, Ambrose was a pioneer of weird fiction, and his story was the same one I told about Charles Ashmore going for water and never returning. And then the cries, a year later that his mother and other people could hear. And Oliver Larch was just another name that was sometimes attributed to the story. Or maybe he was also in a book that Ambrose Bierce had written.
So this is basically a very early creepypasta.
Yes, but it was told with such journalistic style that time turned it into truth. Good enough for the Sun anyway, fact checkers.
A little bit War of the Worlds.
Possibly. So that explains it then. But I want to tell you something more about Ambrose Bierce because he's a fascinating guy. In October 1913, 71-year-old Ambrose, by then was one of America's most famous journalists and writer of something called An Occurrence at Owl Creek. Very famous short story. Apparently one of the best ever written, according to Kurt Vonnegut. And variations of this story have been done over time. And you will see that style or that twist in films like Jacob's Ladder and an episode of Black Mirror, Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror, starring Wyatt Russell, Kurt and Goldie's son, called Playtest.
I can't think of which one that is. I've seen most of them.
He has something attached to the back of his neck and he is in a game. It's an alternate reality game.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And I don't want to give anything away, but it isn't what it seems. The story that we see is actually something that's going on for the protagonist.
Right.
But it might not necessarily reflect. So yes, it's a great storytelling device and he had a great mind. But in 1913, as I said before, he's 71 years old. Ambrose Bierce goes on a tour of old Civil War battlefields and was heading to Mexico, which is in the middle of a chaotic revolution at the time. He joined Pancho Villa's army as an observer and witnessed the Battle of Tierra Blanca before traveling with Pancho Villa's men to Chihuahua. But then he just disappeared without trace or any explanation. No one knows where he is to this day or what became of Ambrose Bierce.
What the hell?
So he himself disappeared.
IRL?
IRL. In
Wow.
1913.
Okay, I didn't see that as a twist in the tale, real life.
Didn't see that one coming, did you?
No.
There is a rational explanation for a lot of these disappearances. They're made up. But for some of them, I mean, the Quoras and the Reddits, there's no way of verifying. It's just people sharing their stories, or are they creepypastas? We don't know. Or in my case, when it did actually happen and I have a memory of it happening, time has dulled it. And also I was
Cooked.
cooked.
You were cooked.
There's no other word for it, really. Yes, I was cooked. And in this age of AI, it's really hard to tell when you see things on social media, which I have done recently, actually. There's this viral video that keeps popping up in my feed, and now I'm talking about it. It'll pop up in all yours as well. It's body cam footage of a female police officer who goes to a car and stops, and there's a young woman in the car. And she's asking for all her details. And when the police officer turns around for a moment and then turns back, the girl is missing. Nowhere. Under the car, round the car, anywhere. And it's one of those dusty, dirty roads in the United States. Nowhere for her to hide.
Right.
And it is baffling, and it's eerie, and it's shocking.
And it's AI.
And it's not AI, but it is a video that was made by a church to represent the rapture for fear tactics. So there was, apparently people have dissected it online. Police officers have done it and shown how it was made. There is a very seamless edit where the girl is obviously taken out of shot. And then they continue filming.
Oh, God.
So messing with our minds, people. Stop messing with our minds.
Exactly.
Fear. Fear is ruling the roost here.
Yes.
It's all about fear and religion.
Yes, exactly. Wow, Geordie, what a bitzer.
Thanks.
A lot of things to think about.
Yeah.
Okay, a boy getting water from a well, 100 plus
Anything
years
could
ago.
happen.
Anything can happen. But also it feels like, obviously I don't want a child to go missing.
No.
But, this idea of like footprints in the snow and then nothing. We've actually covered stories.
Yes.
Very similar. Again, were those details embellished?
Well, exactly.
When people go missing, in the mountains, wherever they are. In some ways, I wish it was an alien, because then I just feel like, okay, they were just lifted and gone.
Because that's then an explanation.
Yeah, it's
an alien. What about pterodactyl? Do you not wish it was a pterodactyl?
No, because then it's kind of ripped apart.
I'm glad there's no pterodactyls in the sky.
I know. All of it. Anyone who goes missing, it's terrifying and it's heartbreaking, no matter how. No matter the how, no matter the why.
Absolutely.
I do feel like Brian Shaeffer, I don't think he just walked out of his life. I think foul play, for sure.
And maybe somebody found his phone.
Something went wrong somewhere. Yeah. And this was, 10 years ago. Like, if it was a decent phone, someone probably thought they could make a quid off it. But really interesting stories. Food for thought, I would say. Food for thought.
It seems to be your favourite saying these days.
Oh, have I said it more than once?
You have.
Oh, okay.
Almost weekly.
Oh! I didn't even realise.
Do write in if you've noticed Michelle saying food for thought quite a lot recently.
Okay. Obviously, the Ambrose Bierce, that for me is like really...
Well, it was the middle of a revolution. He was 71 years old. He was nowhere near friends or family. He was just jumping on revolutionary armies and going for a joyride. So anything could have happened. He's probably been fed to pigs or thrown over the edge of a cliff or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
If he had a heart attack or was caught up in the crossfire.
Or just said the wrong thing or looked at someone the wrong way.
Maybe.
You don't know these things. But yes, sometimes, here's another cliche, truth is stranger than fiction.
Oh, I like this. It's new.
It's a new one. Food for thought, truth is stranger than fiction.
Yes.
Bring us your cliches. We'll try and pop them in.
And also, remember, we've got the Patreon, and Michelle will probably be putting up all of the references that we've put in today about this story, including things like Jacob's Ladder, great film. Watch that. I'll watch that
That
again.
is a wreck.
That's a real
That
wreck.
is a wreck.
And Picnic at Hanging Rock. Both of those films have got to be massive faves for me.
Oldies but goodies. Good wrecks. Classics.
Well, we've come to the end of my stories now. I'm going to disappear myself. Do you like it?
I like it. I like that segue, which really leaves us with only 3 things left to say, Geordie.
Wherever you are.
And whatever you do,
Just keep
eavesdropping.
eavesdropping.
Eavesdroppin'. 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 Eavesdroppin' all day long. Eavesdroppin', this is the song. Drop it like it's hot.
Finding ways to be financially savvy is a smart move. And knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream home or new ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
With VerboCare, help is always ready. Before, during, and after your stay. We've planned for the plot twists, so support is always available. Because a great trip starts with peace of mind.
You've got social dialed in. Search is doing its thing. So why do your marketing results look the same as 6 months ago? That's because you're fishing in the same pond as everyone else. Podcast listeners are a different audience entirely. More engaged, harder to reach through traditional channels, and ready to act when someone they trust makes a recommendation. We're Acast, and we put them right in front of you. Browse thousands of the world's leading podcasts, book host reads or run your own ads, and track every conversion in real time. Same skills you already have, brand new results. Acast. Acast.com/advertise.